Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed participants, a perfect afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the grand inauguration of a groundbreaking event titled Towards Circularity and ASEAN Perspective on Zero Waste Management in the Fashion Industry. We are gathered here today for a momentous occasion, the opening session of this event. This event is a collaborative effort organized by the ASEAN Centre for Sustainable Development Study and Dialogue, ACSDSD, the ASEAN Circular Economy Stakeholder Platform, and the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia to Thailand. The primary objective is to raise public awareness about the significance of adopting zero waste, sustainable, and circular economy practices within the fashion industry, particularly within the ASEAN context. We are honored to have you all with us today for this momentous occasion. This event is a testament to the collective efforts of ASEAN nations working towards a sustainable and circular future in the fashion industry. To commence our proceedings, it is an honor to invite His Excellency Rachamat Budiman, the Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to Thailand, to deliver the opening remark. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
His Excellency Mr. Chirachai Pangkarsin, Executive Director, ASEAN Centre for Sustainable Development Studies and Dialogue. Bapak Mirza Nur Hidayat, Director of Southeast Asia Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. Dr. Perapon Palapa Levaya, Asia Pacific Roundtable for Sustainable Consumptions and Productions. Associate Professor Dr. Lerwin Liu, NTU Entrepreneurship Academy, Singapore. Mr. Lars Fogh Mortensen, European Environment Agency. Bapak Titanius Karto, Presiden Direktur PT Surya Mandiri Tekstil Buana. Bapak Basri Kamba, Chairman of Rantai Tekstil Lestari. Mr. Jun Mardian, CBO United Supermarket Holding. Mr. Porame Sayuparaj, Live Creations Co. Limited. Mr. Kamin Pongsaro Chanavit, Tainam Chok Textile. Ms. Natini Bunprasom, Child Finance Freedom. Ms. Sarah Kedah, Cloth Malaysian in Kuala Lumpur. The listing is many that I have to say. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon, selamat siang, salam sejahtera bagi kita semua, sawadee. I bid all you welcome to all of you here and to this forum, and thank you for your spending your precious time and to come to this forum. And I'm sure that this is a very, very interesting forum for discussing the topic that will be discussed in the few hours later. As you all might be aware, nowadays we cannot help but have to understand and to adapt the concept of sustainability in all aspects of life. It is no longer the concept that is owned only by government officials and talk only in high-end meetings and forums. All of us must understand, whether you are a student or professor, politicians or business persons, that if our life is to consume recklessly, then there will be nothing in the future. We have to change our way of thinking, of living, of doing business, incorporating sustainability for the sake of all. This is the main reason why the Indonesian Embassy, together with ACSDSD, convened this forum today. Often we heard many discussions of sustainability targeting such as staple industry, oil, energy, transportations, food, but not much of connections between fashion or clothing industry and sustainability, even though it is one of the basic necessity of humanity. As such, we believe it is time for us, for the ASEAN regions, one of the most vibrant economies in the world, to have a serious talk of how to make fashion industry into circular economy with a zero waste management policy. I strongly believe that this forum will be one of such talk, as can be seen from the panelists' presence ranging from government officials, academicians, and practitioners in the field. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before closing, I am delighted to share with you that for me, this forum is one of more significance. Today is the day of country Indonesia celebrating batik. As some of you might know, batik is traditional clothing originated from Java Island, Indonesia, and one of the masterpieces of intangible cultural heritage as acknowledged by UNESCO in 2009. Batik has been a part of life for Indonesians that we could not do without. Naturally, we have been in the process of integrating the concept of sustainability in producing batik clothing, as we'll hear from the esteemed Indonesian panelists here in this forum. I also would like to take this opportunity to give thanks to ACSDSD Secretariat, without whom this forum could not be held. I also thank the Directorate of Southeast Asia Affairs of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia for its support, and all of the panelists present here offline and online. With this, I declare the forum open, and may talks and discussion onward be beneficial and effective in giving sustainable perspective in all stakeholders of fashion industry in the ASEAN region. Thank you. Terima kasih. Kapunka.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And now, to warmly welcome all our esteemed participants and shed light on the significance of this event, please welcome His Excellency Jirachai Pankasin, the Executive Director of the ASEAN Centre for Sustainable Development Studies and Dialogue, ACSDSD, to deliver the welcoming remarks. Sir, the floor is yours.
Your Excellency Rahmat Budiman, Ambassador of Indonesia to Thailand, Mr. Mirza Noor Hidayat, the Director of Southeast Asian Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Indonesia, esteemed panelists, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to all of you to the event towards circularity, an ASEAN perspective on zero waste management in the fashion industry. We are truly honored to have you here today as we embark on an insightful journey into sustainable fashion. I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency Rahmat Budiman, the Ambassador of Indonesia to Thailand, and Mr. Mirza Noor Hidayat, the Director of Southeast Asian Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Indonesia, for your support for this event. Your commitment to the cause of sustainability will contribute to driving positive change in the fashion industry. Today, we highlight a topic of utmost importance, the importance of zero waste management and circular economy in the fashion industry. We recognize that the fashion industry plays a significant role in our lives and carries a heavy environmental footprint. Fashion is not just about what we wear, it is a reflection of our values, our culture, and our aspirations. However, it has also been one of the industries that has left a significant ecological impact. Our event comprises two panel discussions. The first panel discussion will explore the importance of zero waste management and circular economy in the fashion industry. We have assembled a panel of experts, thought leaders, and industry visionaries who will share their thoughts into why adopting zero waste management practices and embracing a circular economy is not a choice, but an absolute necessity for the fashion industry's survival and sustainability. The second panel discussion will focus on the future of applying zero waste management and circular economy in the fashion industry. This session will look into the exciting innovations, technologies, and strategies that will shape the future of fashion in the ASEAN region and beyond. It will offer a glimpse into the sustainable and circular fashion landscape we aspire to create. The discussion today is not only timely, but also imperative for the future of our planet. Fashion and sustainability can no longer be looked at separately. They are intertwined and demand our immediate attention. Today, we gather as champions for a cause that seeks to balance beauty with responsibility, style with sustainability, and progress with planet-friendly practices. What we should envision is a fashion industry that leaves no waste behind and nurtures a circular and sustainable ecosystem. Once again, we extend our warmest welcome to all of you and express our sincere appreciation for your participation. Together, we can pave the way for a more sustainable, zero-waste fashion industry in the ASEAN region and worldwide. Thank you, and let us embark on this journey towards a more sustainable future. Thank you.
To add another layer of significance to this occasion, we are honored to have Mr. Mirza Hidayat, the Director of Southeast Asian Affairs from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Republic of Indonesia, who will share his congratulatory remarks. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you. His Excellency, Mr. Rahmat Budiman, Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the Kingdom of Thailand, His Excellency Mr. Chirachai Pungrasin, Executive Director, ASEAN Centre for Sustainable Development Studies and Dialogue, Dr. Pirapon Palaplivaya, Asia Pacific Roundtable for Sustainable Consumption and Production, Bapak Basri Kamba, Chairman of Rantai Tekstil Lestari, all distinguished speakers and participants. Very good morning, Sawadee Krap. I'm pleased to deliver this speech at this seminar towards circularity and ASEAN perspective on zero waste management in fashion industry. Let me first of all to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks and heartfelt appreciations to His Excellency Ambassador Rahmat Budiman and the Embassy of Indonesia in Bangkok and the ASEAN Centre for Sustainable Development Studies and Dialogue for the opportunity to address this important event and for your kind support and effective cooperation right from the initial ideas to this moment. This dialogue is an opportunity for representatives from ASEAN countries to discuss, exchange, and share experiences in the process of raising awareness of zero waste management, particularly in the sustainable fashion industry, promoting collaboration and knowledge sharing between industry stakeholders in ASEAN, as well as adapting to other regional strategies for market-driven business opportunities. The seminar is a strong message about ASEAN's role and contribution to international efforts to address global issues. ASEAN cooperation on environment is guided by the ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community Vision 2025, which envisions an ASEAN community that engages and benefits the people and is inclusive, sustainable, resilient, and dynamic. ASEAN wants to promote and ensure balanced social development and sustainable environment that meet the needs of the people through coordinated efforts on key priority areas such as response to climate change and sustainable consumption and production. Here at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we resonate the idea for the dialogue as the contribution of the government of Indonesia to the overall goal promoting sustainability and circular economy in the fashion industry and support the industry, including also small and medium enterprises, to explore further the potential export market. Indonesia has always given high priority to protecting the environment. We are committed to joining hands with international community in general and ASEAN in particular to reinvigorate the agenda on sustainable development, including promoting circular economy and zero waste management in the fashion industry. For the textile industry in Indonesia, the concept of sustainable fashion to increase the competitiveness of the textile and clothing industry is a priority agenda that needs to be implemented. Achieving zero waste in the fashion industry requires collaboration and shared commitment to sustainable practices. Therefore, we would like to also include the SMEs in the talks, discussion, and concerting efforts for further collective action to be taken for responsible fashion industries. So the sustainable fashion as a part of the green industry has been, among others, outlined in Indonesia government regulation the year 2021 concerning the implementation of industrial sector as well as in the making of Indonesia 4.0 and 2020-2024 roadmap. For the perspective or regional and global potential for recycled textile is very prospective, with its value reaching 5.6 billion in 2019 and is expected to reach 7.6 billion in 2027, with projected growth of 3.6% from 2020 to 2027. I hope in the next few hours, with the participation of scholars, policymakers, representatives of business organizations and associations within and outside ASEAN region, will be discussed and develop many initiatives, recommendations that can be applied to ASEAN cooperation in this area in the coming time in order to soon turn the policies into reality. In conclusion, I hope our discussion today will inspire innovative ideas, foster collaboration, and pave the way for more sustainable future for the fashion industry in ASEAN. I congratulate all, and of course, we wish you a very great success for the discussion. Thank you so much. Kapun Kap.
Okay, thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of this historic occasion. We have one more delightful moment to capture, a group photo that will serve as a lasting memory of our time together today. So I request our speaker, panelists, and exhibitor to proceed to the stage for our group photo, please. Okay, everyone, please proceed to the stage, and those on the stage, please stay closer. Please get closer. Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, we officially declared it towards Circularity event open. So while we are waiting for the setting up of the next session, so allow me to humbly remind all of you that the ACSDSD located at Mahidol University in Thailand is the host of the ASEAN Circular Economy Stakeholder Platform, an online knowledge and information portal on circular economy in ASEAN, with various types of circular economy knowledge from national, subnational, and regional governmental entities, good practice, knowledge, events, and other relevant information. The mission of the platform is to support the transition to a circular economy by providing access to good circular economy practice. I would like to take this opportunity to call for all of your engagement with our platform at ce.acsdsd.org. Engage with our platform, share your knowledge, good practices, learn from the other, and engage in meaningful collaboration. Could you please show the website on the screen? Okay. So I would like to invite all the panel speaker for session 1 to the stage, please. Hi, so behind us is the ASEAN Circular Economy Stakeholder Platform that I just remind you about. So without further ado, let's rock and roll and welcome to the panel session 1 of our event today. We are privileged to have distinguished guests lined up of experts who share their insight on zero waste management, circular economy, and sustainability in the fashion industry. After these enlightening talks, we will have a panel discussion. Our expert will engage in a dynamic exchange of ideas, and I encourage our audience to participate by raising or submitting your question through chat option in Zoom. And I want to remind all the presenters to keep their presentation under 10 minutes. And whenever 2 minutes are remaining, I will ring the bell once. And when 1 minute is remaining, I will ring the bell twice. And when your time is up, I will ring the bell triple times. And please kindly wrap up in 1 minute. So now let's set the stage for our discussion. Our first speaker is a pioneer in sustainable consumption and production, circular economy, and eco-design with an extensive background in sustainable consumption and production in textile and other industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Pirapon from Thai SCP and APR SCP.
Okay. Good afternoon. I would like to thank ASEAN that invite me and also Embassy of Republic of Indonesia in Bangkok. It is a great honor for me to join as a speaker today's seminar. Today, my presentation is about 10 minutes, so it's really challenging. But anyway, I would like to share about the Thailand textile industry experience. And also today is a good opportunity to me that I have shared my knowledge experience with many the person who here with my friend, from Thailand Textile Institute and some of industry and exhibitor today. So Circular economy in Thailand, textile or eco-design practice, actually we've been practiced for a long time, okay? First of all, I would like to introduce the organization that I belong to right now. I'm the Secretary General of the SCP, Thai SCP Association. We established in year 2018, and also I'm Secretary of the APR SCP Foundation in Bangkok. Our goal is to supporting Thai SCP roadmap in year that we have 20 years roadmap, and our vision is we have a strong network with work with the ASEAN, and we have collaborate with the SCP concept CE and collaborate with all local and international. Last year we have a very big event with our network on through API SCP. So every year we have an annual meeting, and we are the forum chairing on the SCP sustainable consumption production. And we have like 12, the member from the industry to agro-tourism, finance, and public procurement policy, and so some of our member here also today, and industry is part of our member as well. Our chairperson on the association, Dr. Vichan Simachaya, he is a great person who are involved on the circular economy in Thailand and also the clean growth strategy in Thailand for more than 10 years, okay? So we know that the textile industry, fashion industry have a heavy impact. We're the second of the largest supporting industry. And the wastewater in the global term is almost 20% of the global wastewater polluted because of it's involved on the fiber extraction process, especially cotton, and then they are involved on a lot of the pesticide, more than like 16%. And also this a lot of waste from garbage from garment and fashion consumer product, which is only 1% recycled as is the global. And then moreover that this industry have been share about 10% of global carbon emission. I think this is the key point of the industry, that it's really second last polluter. In terms of emission, this emission is and can account it more than, that the all international flight and maritime shipping. So you can imagine that how this industry polluted to, environment. But this is a great opportunity as well for the industry to be changed to circular economy. Good news that UNEP have engaged more than 140 experts, and they just rounded the report. This is very interesting. They call sustainability and circularity in textile value chain. Before that, Alan MacArthur also have proposed the report on how we turn textile circular economy in year 2017. But from the overall industry growth right now, we are looking for the textile value chain reach the net zero emission. They're very ambitious. And fresh water minimized and water pollution eliminated. That's possible because of, actually 10 years ago we have like a technology, like dye technology, that we can dye the fabric without water, less water. But unfortunately they have limited some color, and the technology is still very expensive. But anyway, you can see some of the practice like digital printing, demand printing, that try to eliminate the water pollution from wet and dyeing process. Biodiversity achievement net zero balance, this is a very challenging issue, especially for ASEAN. We are talking about it, how to use the natural, especially in ASEAN we have a lot of agro waste that we can utilize as a cellulose fiber instead of just rely on only cotton. While the cotton, we might focus on the recycled cotton in the market. And also, they demand 30 billion invest to transition circular and sustainable textile each year. in Thailand and in global, I believe that sustainable finance, sustainable investment have been attention, and World Bank and NFC also very active on that. I believe that in Thailand, we also get into that what we call use the sustainable finance to transform the business model, including textile, to more greener, circular. Why I'm focused on the eco-design? Because from the principle and from the life cycle route, we know that from the original material design is the main source of pollution, emission, water. So the principle of eco-design, that how we utilize material ecology, reusable, recycle, and non-toxic, that we are success. That you see that right now in the market, you can find out like recycled polyester, which is 60% of synthetic material is from polyester. And then we have like organic cotton, and we have more and more on the agrofiber waste related, like in Thailand, that I show some practice. Environmental friendly technology research, which require a little, less energy consumption and material flow, is right now they are there, but some of small medium scale might be have obstacle to investment, but all technologies are there. Dimension and shape of the product correspond to optimize the aesthetic function. Actually, we have to educate the consumer, but the industry itself, they can design the product that more long, durable, and have more color fastness, or even the function, aesthetic function. So it's a matter of the consumer behavior influenced by designer, retail, brand owner to educate the consumer as well. Color variance, that is also one of the major source of the chemical using. For the color, we know that if we're using the textile garment in dark shades, that means it's more emission, more chemical, more wastewater released. So color shading also play the important role. Anyway, we have a lot of natural dye developed. Even some of the color fastness have limitation. In Thailand, we are successful to use the natural dye from the plant, like in India, and we can use the color painting as one of the product, and as for the household handicraft product as well. And there are some of the company try to develop natural dye product in the commercial scale as well. Merch model and material accessory that subject to ratio, price, and quality. It means that we need the integrated thinking mindset to develop the whole life cycle process of the product that make it recyclable, the ACSDSD, and also we can repurpose it. Okay. Today is my honor also to share with our experience from the government policy institute, like a Thailand Textile Institute, and 7 company. Okay. First, I would like to share the experience. In Thailand, eco-design LCA concept have been started since 1990. At the time, I was part of the cleaner technology promotion manager. So you can imagine how am I. Okay. And then at the time, I worked in the TI, and we have the FTI and DIW work together. And from that concept, Thailand Textile, TI also have promoted LCA, and later on we have the institute who work on the LCI and carbon footprint level. So I will be very quick. And we have CE Vision with 7 flagship priority. We have green purchasing. We have a new law, and we have tried to ease the obstacle for the CE business. We also developed the CE platform, the textile one of that. We have symbiosis and reverse logistics. We have guideline, okay? And then from the implementation, we have worked on the 4th thing, that CE champion to promote the champion, to add a showcase and closed loop business. We have platform, R&D, and citizen as enable. And Thailand Textile play important role on the diversifying from the material clean industry economy, and right now they have website and also platform, you can see. And actually 10 years ago, we worked on the eco label and LCA and CT, cleaner technology. This is, okay, I will start very quick, okay. Thai Tafita have developed the methodology, I mean the brand, and then they try to mix the recycled polyester PET with pineapple and hemp PET, okay? And they're involved on the from the consumer and B2B and B2C as well. And they are part of the owner who play a very important role from turn PET to PPE project as a part of the project as well. They involve BMA to collect the recycled bottom. SC Grant, I hope that today he will be here. Also, he is only one company who have provided the circular economy, circular waste recycled material for like a 500 ton per month. That's their capacity right now, and they work with close loop with some of the brand. Okay, this is their commitment on the carbon neutral. Next up model, you can see the information and the sample on the display today that they have net up model by SCG chemical collaborate with the textile industry. So they collect the fishing net from the fishing coastal fishing boat. Right now their capacity about 100 kilo per month. And this is just pilot project, 100 kilogram per month in Rayong only. Okay, this is pilot. And they continue the project for 9 months already. And then they have transparent buying the fishing net to record by using application that they call Kumka. And also they are work the recycle process and with high quality of PCR. Like my t-shirt today is 50% of recycled nylon for fishing net and also 50% virgin nylon. Yes, this is very high function and quite expensive t-shirts as well. And then they will develop into the material, marine, and also they will extend this to all over the Thailand. Okay, Wago is underwear company who apply the total on circular economy, and they're also the model on the EPR system as well. And right now they collect like more than 100 tons of used the underwear to be a waste for the forum. And there are the company who really do the EPR model actively, and they have all kinds of certified product and process, and they continue improvement using LCA more than 10 years. Unit the textile mill is a knit the knit factory who are transparency enjoy that what we call HIC facility management model. Okay, so they can show and they show on their environmental management and impact through their customer and the public as well. Okay, and we have Pasaya is a high brand of the satin textile and the home product, and they also have vision on the net zero emission, and they do it on the energy efficiency and also using the recycled material. And the last one, okay, this is an OTOP product that you see. They use the silk waste and hand woven waste to make the product upcycling. So I bring the two products to show you, and then they have circular certified the circular product, I mean certificate in 3 levels. I'm part of their advisor. This project is for 3 years already, but it's very pre-order. They not have the mass production. So my last presentation. Our challenge today is how we work through the framework that we already have in ASEAN. It means that we can share our standards, circular economy standard, trade and opportunity and capacity building. This is a big challenge. And EPR is a big issue for EU and even for us as well. So we have to consider on that. Mutual recognition between global brand owner and SME circular textile for ASEAN sustainable standard practice is really practical if we can drive to that. ASEAN EU collaboration for capacity on new business model for textile, especially SME. This is our challenge, the the real challenge. And ASEAN EU textile collaboration platform, like a public-private partnership, I think this platform would be a good enabler to us to work together between, because of EU is one of our main market. So all my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, doctors, for providing super comprehensive view, a helicopter view of current situation of circular economy in Thailand. Following Dr. Pilapon, we have an industry racing star with us today, Titoni Escado, with a background in finance. In running his own business in North America, he pushed himself into the world of garment manufacturing out of the Indonesia. This gentleman sees the complex textile industry as challenge and attempts to adopt a circular economy approach that requires global and system-level collaboration in addressing complex system issue. Mr. Caro, sir, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, and His Excellency, thank you, Ambassador Bapak Rahmat, and His Excellency, the Ambassador Chirachai, for this opportunity. My name is Titonius Karto. I'm based in Jakarta. We're running about 3 different factories at 3 different locations, and our market is all mostly export. And with the textile industry attempt to adopt a circular economy requires a global and system collaboration in addressing complex systematic issues. Raw material producers, textile factories, and also garment manufacturing. Fashion brand and industry regulation and bodies need to play critical role along the production chain to make this change happen. While the effort to drive the transformation is still in the infancy in my factory, some incremental improvement are already being made to reduce the negative environmental impact because of the overall system, entire system is possible. Before the overall change in the entire system is possible. As a garment manufacturer, we have taken steps to that end. For instance, we have moved beyond the standard measure of corporation responsibility, such as employee wages, gender equality, fair labor practices, and so on, to a real business model transformation that focuses on sustainable production. This includes introducing new approach to seek out alternative fabric sources and to audit the supply chain fabric consumption and also post-production waste. This waste produces, at my 3 locations, we produce about 2 tons of waste from production each month. These approaches has become the new norm after working closely with our clients to assure them that these changes actually do not increase the cost of production. Good Earth Cotton Movement, BCI, Better Cotton Initiative, and using the fiber track system are some of the ways that we manufacturer has the responsibility to be part of this supply chain. That is a critical supply chain issues that we have been facing. In fact, one of the biggest costs in apparel manufacturing is the cost of textile. On top of that, the plantation that grows the crop used in the apparel industry, including cotton, linen, and hemp, and indigo dyes, run some of the most polluting production in the world. Fortunately, a research by the Rodale Institute has shown that using the generative method of organic farming could help to reverse the effect of climate change. As part of our transformation effort, we have been referring to the regenerative organic certification standard to help us identify textile supplier that takes responsible steps toward conserving the environment. The production process at Surya Mandiri starts with the fabric inspection, and the report is shared among the team and also our buyer and supplier, one of which to be marked both digitally and manually if there are issues and challenges before cutting, to minimize post-cutting wastage. This will ensure that the garment will be passed through different stages of quality control and reduces rejection and consumption, producing a high-quality garment in the end. Addressing wastage issues should be given a high priority in any types of manufacturing. With 2 tons of waste that we are processing each month, that has become a burden to the landfill and to other environmental issues that might have caused in the supply chain towards the end of making a final high-quality garment. On top of the cutting wastage, we also send the remaining fabric for upcycling. Upcycling is the process of repurposing discarded material for other uses, and it comes in many forms. We have been working with a lot of brands, many brands in Indonesia, and also brands overseas, to explore the concept of upcycling. This creative process of reimagining a different use for each piece of waste is the key to reducing waste and encouraging multiple uses for material in order to prolong their useful lives. This represents an opportunity for designers, artisans, to lead the way in utilizing tons of textile waste to be used interdisciplinary, such as art pieces, wall covering, and it will create an added value for its multiple uses and different purposes that will satisfy consumer imagination. And also, technology is again leveraged in this process to develop a more sustainable approach of production. However, the most important part in the equation is none other than the consumer themselves, because the word consume literally means to destroy, as by fire or disease, to squander and to use up. However, consumer need not be destructive. Instead, it could potentially be the power force in the circular economy. With the increase of awareness about the fashion industry impact on the environment, consumer can adjust their lifestyle choices by reducing the purchase of fast fashion products, increase the clothes utilization, and saying no to brands that neglect sustainability in their core business value. So the next time you shop for your wardrobe, know that the very choice that can help the industry adapt to a new reality and transit to a circular economy is one that minimizes waste and get the most out of the existing resources that we have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Tito. Okay, so next up, we are pleased to have Associate Professor Dr. Lervin Leo from NTU Entrepreneurship Academy, Singapore, and the founder of STEAM Platform Thailand, the leading circular economy platform in Thailand, engaging with different type of stakeholders in Thailand. She will share with us on her perspective on textile circularity, value chain business model, and call for action. Dr. Leo, ma'am, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Can I show the video first? The video. Hi, good afternoon. I moved back to Singapore 6 months ago to take up this professor in entrepreneurship in Nanyang Technological University. So the reason why I was willing to accept this role in NTU is that I was allowed to, the condition was I am allowed to promote impact-driven, sustainability-driven entrepreneurship. And I have been an advocate of circular economy. I published the first textbook 2 years ago during COVID on circular economy. Currently, now I have all these potential contributors to my next book. I'm just signed up a contract with Springer Nature for the next book on handbook on circular economy and sustainability global leadership, where I would feature leading practices from policy engineering, not just policy, how to make it happen, and circularity transformation in all sectors, including textile, and also from all levels, from the country level, city level, community level, corporation level, and on education, entrepreneurship, and financing. So there are 4 sections in my book. So now I have 2 people I can invite to contribute to my book. It's a live book, so you can update, you can continue to contribute, adding chapters to the website of the publisher called Springer Nature. Springer Nature is actually a German-based publisher, but it's the biggest academic publisher in the world. Today I want to feature, there's a 5-minute video I want to show, really highlight me and my team of students in KMUTT. So during COVID, we actually conducted site visits and interviews. We went into the field to film a number of leading players in circularity in textile. So I wanted to showcase that, if you can play the video.
recycled textile waste comes from production, pre-consumption and post-consumption. SC Grand focuses on converting these waste into fiber, yarn, fabric and clothing.
Hi, did you know textile industry is the second most polluting industry in the world? Every single day we throw away these clothes. Just to produce a colorful t-shirt like this, it takes 2,000 liters of water and a lot of chemicals. Now, how can we minimize our negative environmental impact for our consumption? We're here in SC Grand to find out how they do it.
My name is Wat Jilalot. I'm the third generation of the company. My company named Sanctuary Grand, or we can call SC Grand. My grandparents started this business like 55 years ago. And then for my generation, the third generation, I start to do the fabric to add more value to our own raw material. You make one clothes, right? Firstly, you have to grow the cotton. And then the second, maybe you have to have the yarn factory or spinning mill. And when you produce the yarn, you also have the waste from the yarn factory, which is the fiber. And then when you weaving the fabric, you also have the salvage waste in the fabric as well. I brought those kind of waste and transform into fiber, new fabric, and new clothes again. I think the first one gonna be like to convince the customer in Thailand, because what I do here is quite new. So I have to assure that our material have been certified, have the standard that every company around the world, the top company, has the same standard as us. Because my company, we working with the 3 generations. I have to put them, I have to align them in the same vision to let our company survive and grow like sustainable in long term. If say like the next 5 years, I think I will become like the top choice of the sustainable textile. And I think in the next 30 years, we will see a lot of industrial. They do the circular across sector. Maybe food waste gonna come to do circular with the textile industry. Yeah, we will see a lot happening in the next 30 years.
ค่ะที่ทำแพลตฟอร์มวิถีไทยขึ้นมาเพราะว่าเราเห็นว่าสินค้างานทำมือของไทยมีเรื่องราวที่น่าสนใจแล้วคุณภาพไม่ได้ด้อยไปกว่าต่างประเทศเลยแต่กลับขายได้ในราคาที่ไม่สูงมากเราจึงอยากเป็นหนึ่งช่องทางที่จะนำสินค้าไทยไปขายในต่างประเทศในราคาที่สูงขึ้นก็ทำให้ชีวิตความเป็นอยู่ของชาวบ้านดียิ่งขึ้นค่ะ
In addition to recycling textile waste in Thailand, there are emerging businesses that focus on sustainable textile, including Philip Huang, which uses all natural fiber and dye. More Loop focuses on reviving dead stock fabrics. And lastly, Kize focuses on creating custom-designed fashion handbags using waste leather and rental business models.
So what Philip's design philosophy has always been is to merge where we can traditional with what's really made for the future or now. You know what I mean? It's taking old knowledge. It's basically going to far. I mean, I think indigo is the first one. Like seeing how we can make it sustainable. And sustainable isn't just like good to the earth, but can we as makers ourselves, designers, find a way to keep it sustained for another generation? What people don't realize is that things get wasted even before you use it, because now we are in a new industry. Platforms are very powerful, so I have built a platform that collects the industrial waste, and the first industry we go to is textile.
We have fabric that is stuck inside the export garments, right? Normally, people don't get these fabrics anywhere. I have found that we're becoming the new sourcing. So we're building a network of sourcing from many factories and who have the pain point. And at the same time, we're building the network of production lines, networks of designers.
What you're doing affects the whole ecosystem. Right? That's where we found the idea of creating a fashion brand that is also sustainable. We wanted to make a handbag brand that is very fashion forward but uses very sustainable it's material. What adds value is design, because it's only made to order for our bags. But then we also have some bags that we produce specifically just for rental that we're trying to push now. So special bags that people would feel that, okay, I want to rent because I want to use this bag. It's the best idea of upcycling.
So that was kept us busy during COVID to learn about circularity in Thailand. And by the way, everything that you saw here has been produced by our students in KMUTT in Bangkok. And so this is also our way to educate and train people about circular economy and empower young people to take action. So my team of students, they are all undergraduate students. They are mainly STEM, so from School of IT, from architecture and design, engineering and science. So through this journey of, getting to the ground, investigating what's happening, learning about, how these industry practitioners do what they do, their vision, their amazing practices, they actually really, that's how they learn. This is an extremely important, powerful experiential learning for young people to become leaders. I mean, now a lot of my students, they have graduated and they have pursued their postgraduate master degree studies. Some of them went overseas. And I'm just very proud that they have turned out very well. And some of the people, the production team who actually did all the video and now either work in the television, they work in television, helping the television also to communicate these amazing circularity, sustainability practices. So I think, for me as an educator now, and I think it is very important for us to empower young people, empower our institution. So in NTU, when I teach entrepreneurship, I also try to share entrepreneurship practices within the institution, within our center. So we actually make our staff in NTU, like staff and faculties, to learn entrepreneurship as well. So I don't know whether one slide on entrepreneurship.
Support team, please open the slide in Google Share Drive, please.
I have a lot of content, so go, if you have YouTube, okay, key in KMUTT STEAM. KMUTT STEAM, so follow us. This is where we feature a lot of the ground circularity practices in Thailand and elsewhere. So this is a platform that I have built together with my students in Thailand. We continue to, so now that I'm in Singapore, so we will expand this to the region. I think we don't have slides now, so don't worry. Okay, so is it on? I just wanted to do this slide, this one, 14. So I think my previous speakers have really highlighted very, very well what action needs to be taken. But because, I focus on entrepreneurship, so really in my job, everyday job, is really how to empower everyone to take action. But some of you say, consumer, we are the most powerful action stakeholder. I mean, our consumer choice. The stuff that I'm wearing, I have it for more than 10 years. So, and I keep on having things repaired over and over again, including my shoes. So, so if I'm not a sustainable consumer, I cannot tell people how to be sustainable. So at home, I have 0 organic waste. I put aside any organic waste, I compost them, put on my plants, and I put them in a community garden. So I try to go 0 waste organically. Any recyclables, I put them in the recycle bin. I try to minimize stuff that I don't need. I always carry a container with me. I always have my own utensil. And I always say no to unnecessary packaging. I refuse plastic bottles. I have my own tumbler. So, yeah, so don't worry. Okay, the slide's not working, but never mind. But we all know the stakeholders, right? You have the government that make the policy, but often government make policy, there is no governance. Well, we know that. When you have a roadmap, but you have no governance, no management, roadmap is dead. And if you don't monitor, if you don't assess, and it's like design thinking. When we teach entrepreneurship, we call it design thinking. You have to always go back and forth and improve your policy, improve your product, and we've got to apply that. So when in my entrepreneurship class, we do this a lot. and we also guide our mentor our students when they embark a entrepreneurship journey. But not only to do startups, but in institution, in every institution, in a government agency, in a corporation, in a research institution, in any level of organization, we can practice entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is really meaning taking action. We don't just put PowerPoints up and talk about it, right? We really need to take action. But how to take action, this is why we're training entrepreneurship, and that's how we do it. So, I mean, I think I'm very much hoping we could collaborate. We can really need alignment with every stakeholder. Alignment, but this alignment doesn't happen automatically. We have to actively align, go out there and align. So I'm an action-driven person, and when I teach, of course, I teach my students how to do it, and I mentor them in their journey. But myself, and every day, I do this alignment within my organization, with my students who are starting their companies. And when I see companies in trouble, I go help them, promote them, find resources for them, resources including technology, including financing, partners. So these are my daily, keep me very busy every day, doing a number of things to try to drive change and accelerate transformation. So happy to work with you guys. Time's up.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor, for sharing with us a colorful, picture of, meaningful engagement with different stakeholders. So our fourth speaker brings an international perspective to our discussion. Please welcome Lars Fogh Mortensen, an EU expert on sustainability and circular economy from the European Environment Agencies. Mr. Mortensen, the floor is yours, sir. Good morning.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning from Copenhagen. Sorry I cannot be with you, but it was a bit of a long travel. My name is Lars Mortensen. I'm from the European Environment Agency, and it's really a pleasure to be here with you. I will share my screen, so some slides with you. Just give me a second. Can somebody confirm if you can see my slide? Yes. So I'll talk about the impacts of textiles consumption in Europe, the EU textile strategy, and how it can affect also countries in ASEAN. Basically, before I do that, just a few words about where I work. So I'm in the European Environment Agency. We're one of the institutions of the European Union. And what we do is basically our role is to monitor Europe's environment and climate. We gather all the data, so we are the Environmental Protection Agency of the European Union. I'm responsible for our work with textiles and the circular economy. I've done that for the last 5 years, but been around for a long time. I started working on sustainable consumption and production in the UN in 1994, so I'm one of the oldies in this area. The map here shows our member countries. So our member countries are the European Union, but also European countries that are not members of the European Union. I have 3 points to talk to you about today. First is an overview of environment and climate impacts from textiles consumption in Europe. Secondly, I want to talk to you about the EU exports of used textiles. And thirdly, about the EU strategy on sustainable textiles, which affects us in Europe, but also very much you in the ASEAN countries. On the first point, this closet looks a little bit like the closet we just shown in the video. So what we show here is that in the EU, we consume on average 15 kilograms of textiles every year. What is shown here in blue is the total clothing is about 6 kilos. In yellow is the household textiles, which is about 6 kilos, and the shoes about 3 kilos every year. So what are the impacts of these? So we've shown, came out with a report in 2019 that has been used as a basis for an EU textile strategy that showed that the European consumption of textiles has the 4th highest impacts on the environment and climate change after food, housing, and mobility. So in the EU, it's not the second biggest, it's the 4th biggest. We don't have that much textile production in Europe, but from a consumption perspective, taking into account the whole value chain, is the 4th biggest after food, housing, and mobility. And those sectors have been regulated for for decades, basically, which textiles has not. In terms of types of impacts, it's one of the top 3 pressures on water and land use, and it's one of the top 5 pressures in terms of raw materials and greenhouse gas emissions. And much of this happens, of course, in the production countries in Asia for the textiles we consume. Like a second point is on our export of youth textiles. We made a report in March, and I had as much as 100,000 views on LinkedIn on this post. So I think it was very well received, with a lot of interest. So basically, what happens in the EU, as you can see from this picture, is that we consume a lot of textiles and then we collect it. So 38% on the left we collect. Out of that, we sell about 10% as reused textiles in our own country, and another 10% in other countries in Europe. But the rest we export. We export that to Asia, about half to Asia, and about half to Africa. Maybe if I start with Africa, we know that a bit over half is sold on local markets, and the rest ends basically as waste, legal and illegally. In Asia, we don't know too much about what happens actually. We know some parts goes to reuse, some goes to mechanical recycling, and then some perhaps goes to other countries, because we know that some end in these in economic zones in the countries. And what are the amounts then? This picture shows the amounts. So basically, since year 2000 to 2019, we have tripled our exports of used textiles. So it's now 3 times as much. About half goes to Asia, half goes to Africa. In Asia, it goes to Pakistan, United Emirates, India, but also to other countries. And these are very large amounts, which have been increasing rapidly, as you can see. That leads me to my third and last point, which is our EU strategy on circular textiles. So while this industry in the past was not regulated from the European Union, it is becoming very regulated now. So we had an EU strategy for sustainable textiles that came in March 2022, so just over a year ago. In this, the European Commission articulated a vision that all EU textile products placed on the EU market should be durable, repairable, to a great extent made of recycled fibers, free of hazardous substances, etc. And it also stated that fast fashion should be out of fashion. So there's a clear vision to move away from the very fast fashion to basically slower fashion of high quality. In the next slide, I want to show you some of these elements in this strategy. A strategy is basically a paper that says what they would like to do, and this is now followed up by 16 pieces of concrete legislation. So textiles is now being embedded in EU legislation. One way is to set design requirements for textiles. So we are currently revising what we call the Eco Design Directive, which is a directive of what can be put on the EU market. Textiles now, so soon there will be requirements for what textiles can be put on the EU market in terms of their sustainability, their repairability. We will also introduce what we call a digital product passport with information which will cover all the textiles. We're working to tackle greenwashing, which is a big problem here in Europe. And we're also discouraging the destruction of unsold and returned textiles. We just heard from previous speakers, there's a lot of waste happening in the production process. And we're very keen also that this should not be end in destruction. This is the second part of what we're doing in the EU for the textile strategy. We're now proposing mandatory extended producer responsibility schemes for textiles for all EU countries. So making the producers responsible for and paying for the handling of textiles. Textiles have to be collected separately in the EU in 2025, so in 2 years from now. We will also address the release of microplastics from textiles. Microplastics is being emitted growingly, as you know, and a lot of that comes actually from textiles, since 60 to 70% of textiles is made out of plastics. We aim to restrict the export of textile waste, which we see as a very rapidly increasing problem. And we want to scale circular business models, etc., and also put this at the global level. And this brings me to perspectives for the ASEAN. So what does this mean also for ASEAN countries? I think it will mean quite a lot. It will affect demands from the EU on production in the ASEAN countries, because there'll be requirements for what to be put on the EU market, and a lot of the production happens in Asia in the ASEAN countries. I think early change towards sustainability to meet these requirements will give comparative advantages. Circular business models that was also just discussed will really provide win-win-win opportunities. So circular business models to produce more sustainably, to lease, and all these things will be very important. I think government support will be needed for those countries and companies who want to do well in this big change. I think EU will export less textiles waste in the future, in all likelihood. And then finally, I think that global policies is also an option. And this is my last slide. So we have this huge package of policies in the EU. In other countries, we have less textiles policies. And one option is, of course, to discuss this also at the global level with the UN. And for example, the UN Environment Assembly meets early next year, and there are options to put resolutions forward. And one possibility could be for some countries to go for a resolution on textiles. Basically, it will be in the interest of all countries to have a level playing field. So we have comparable regulation across the countries. Also, there is ongoing, as you know, UN negotiations of a global plastics treaty. And I'm part of the EU delegation to that. And we're now discussing whether textiles should be part of that, because textiles is made out of plastics, at least the most. There is also a new global policy forum on textiles that has been formed by the Global Fashion Agenda. And then there are options at the OECD, G20, etc. So that was all for me. I hope it made sense, and I'm very keen to discuss all of this with all of you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Lars. Okay, last but certainly not least, we have Mr. Basley Gamba. Mr. Gamba will share his insight on options and opportunities for ASEAN textile manufacturer. Mr. Gamba is a gentleman of diverse talents with diverse experience from multinational company in various sectors. In 2018, he joined our GE Group and served as president and director of chairman of Rentai Textile Lestari. He is an UE alumni of the Faculty of Political Science, and he is also very super active in various organizations, including General Chair of Sustainable Textile Chain, Vice Chairman of Indonesian Textile Association for the Environment, and much, much more. Ladies and gentlemen, please warmly welcome Mr. Gamba.
His Excellency Indonesian Ambassador to Thailand, Bapak Rahmat Budiman, and then His Excellency Chiracai Putkarin from the ASEAN Centre Sustainable Development Studies and Dialogue, and Bulita and all panelists there. So I'm really proud to join this panel and really hope that we can come out with one or two actions after this, because ticking the box that this dialogue has finished is not our goal, right? So next slide, please. I have very short presentations. First is about this not-for-profit organization that promoting the sustainable fashions in Indonesia. And the second, I'll give one case about what's happening in Indonesia. And then the last one is about what are the options, what are the opportunities that together we can work together. My first slide, please, my previous one. Previous one, the first one. Yeah. So RTL is about 2 years age by today. It's Indonesia's first not-for-profit organization. Not-for-profit means every single executive in this organization is not paid. We are volunteers. And then it's funded by 2 NGOs and 7 manufacturers. You can see the companies under my slide. And then the members by today is around 70. My first slide, please. Who's changing this slide? Yeah. So it's 70 members, including manufacturers, fashion designers, brand owners, media personnel, and also academicians. So our activities in the past 2 years, including the Indonesia Sustainable Fashion Conference in October 2022, last year, in collaborations with EU and the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce, and then also together with the Zero Discharge for Hazardous Chemical in July this year, and then with the World Circular Textile Day a couple of months ago about a roadmap to 2050. This week, this Thursday, RTL and also WCTD is going to have another conference about the circular textiles. So please do, if you have time, to join us on the October 5th, which is Thursday. World Circular Textile Day is actually founded by 3 organizations. The first one is the Circular Economy based in Amsterdam. The second one is the University Arts of London. And the third one is the Worn Again, also based in UK. So it's quite significant, exploring all the progress in circularity in fashion. Next slide. So today we are talking about, if you look at the title, it's ASEAN Perspective on Zero Waste Management in the Fashion Industry. When you talk about business, it's very, very hard to mention or to generate zero waste, right? Unless we're staying at home, do nothing, and then even then, we still cannot zero waste. So we are very ambitious in terms of the title, but let's see how can we use our network, our platforms, and then do some small actions together as ASEAN, as 11 countries. So this is actions, what happens in Indonesia. So if you look at the pictures on the map to be met again, it's actually in East Java. It's from Panjimas and Pebble, a very small medium enterprises, but has been doing these activities for quite a couple of years already. And then we also, with the RTL, with Rantai Textile Star, we have do a lot of discussions talking about how can we move together as Indonesian businesses, together with some NGOs and media. So there are some activities over there. But again, today in Indonesia, as His Excellency Ambassador mentioned, we are celebrating our Batik Day. Batik, if you look by the history, is actually starting from fabric, from kain, sarung, right? It's not shirt as today. It's sarung. If you look at the the philosophy of the batik at that time, it's actually already using 2 sides. You see, the first one sometimes they use for the market day, and then the other side is actually maybe for at home. So if you talk about batik itself, the philosophy of sustainability is already there for decades. Right? I believe in Vietnam, in Thailand, has the same history also. Just like the way the families of these countries of ASEAN, treating the baby clothes. Sometimes they just, from the sisters, and then it handed over, used again by the brothers or sisters, right? So the philosophy for ASEAN countries has been there for many, many years. My next slide. So, because I am also the director of the Asia Pacific Rayon, this is one of the largest integrated fiber manufacturers. So this is one example about an Indonesian company make a commitment and then action. And then they put this in their website. It means it's for public. So every time people can monitor, can ask, and then can questions, and then can criticize what have been committed, what have been done. This is for 10 years of action, 10 years of commitment for 2030. It's part of the SDGs, it's part of the GRI. So if you look at the 4 charts, you see, it's about, the orange one is about climate and nature positive. So one of the action about this is 100% renewable energy. So we are committed to use our energy by using 100% renewable energy. And the question is, where are you today? We are already 100%. Yeah, we have already 11 megawatts solar panel day, so we already meet that action. Keep in mind, this is met in 2020. It's up to 2030, then, and now it's 2023. It's already 3 years of commitment, and where we have been. This is one example of one company in the textile industry. And then the second one, the blue one, is the clean manufacturing. So if you look in details, we are committed to have more than 95% recovery of our sulfur. And then we are going to use less water, half water, and then 80% less waste to landfill. So this is part of our commitment. And then the third one, I think, Lance is still there. We are committed to comply with the EU VAT by 2023. To be honest, we still cannot meet it. Why? Because we are working with the government about the definition of some of the hazardous waste. And I think the third column on the circularity, this is the topic that we discussed today. At the moment, my company is producing 300,000 tons for viscose fiber per year. 300,000 tons per year. We are committed by 2030, we are 20% or 1/5 of the 300,000 of our production is coming from recycled textile content. So we are doing constant works, research and development about this ambitious target. And then the other one is about the inclusive prosperity, just like the SDGs. This is about people, this is about our community, this is about our health, and establishing a textile hub in the province of Riau as part of our commitment. Next slide. And this is the option that I want to share with everyone today. I hope some of our friends from Vietnam, from Malaysia, and from the other ASEAN countries is also with us today to discuss about what action can we do together as ASEAN. So I'm proposing to have one small collaborative project or collaborative network or platform, which we can include universities, textile industries, designers, and so on. Just one small, but it's about collaborative project. Put our ego as members of ASEAN aside. And then can we do this? Second is actually to establish a circular textile and clothing hub. I don't know whether in Thailand, whether in Jakarta, because if you look at the picture, the ASEAN Secretariat here in Jakarta is so big. So we can utilize that facility. That's the two options that I'm sharing. My last slide is about the opportunities. Next slide, please. Yeah, why is it? Because as mentioned by the previous panelists, the needs, the demand for this circular textile, sustainable fashion, or sustainable materials are very, very, very high. And then, why is that? Because it's the pressure from the consumers, especially in the EU. And the second one, business and circularity should be put in the same equation, should be hand in hand. Without sustainability without circularity in your project, believe me, you will be left behind. Banks will not going to see you. Right? So this is a business actually. So business and circularity will generate efficiency. The third one, the opportunities for what we talk today is about this big market, 670 million population. If you compare with EU, I think EU with 27 countries, I think almost 480 million people. So we have a lot of opportunities. And as I mentioned earlier, culturally, traditionally, we have almost the same best practices in the past, same histories. I think we can utilize that one. Thank you. Kat Pungka.
Thank you very much, sir. Such an incredible insight from this session. We cover a broad spectrum of topic in this session, and we are sure you have burning question and thought to share. So please, for Zoom participant and live participant, please feel free to raise any question to our panel speaker. So for this discussion session, so allow me to proceed with three different questions formulated by our panel of scholars and experts in the field. So first question is relevant to the EU-ASEAN collaboration. Second is on ASEAN regional collaboration, and third is on the consumer and brand collaboration. So first question for Ajahn Dr. Piraporn and Lars. As you mentioned earlier, a little bit about Eurotech. So the question is that, are there opportunities for collaboration and knowledge sharing between EU and ASEAN countries to advance sustainable fashion practice? So, yep. So are there any opportunities for collaboration between two regions?
My question, right? Okay. For my experience, that in terms of ASEAN, if we have collaborate with the Eurotech, that my understanding there are the organization who are center for the textile industry on 27 country member in the EU. It will be a perfect, the matching, because of the in EU they have diverse of the product, but the regulation is really, intensive. When the Commission have put that at the regulation, it means that behind the scene there are a lot of the discussion, practice, research and development, and most of them, I believe that they are involved with the business practice. So if we engage between Eurotech, through by B2B and ASEAN textile industry and fashion brand retail, then it's a great opportunity to recognize both sides. And I believe that from the EU side, they also can learn from us as well, because we also adapt a lot of practice as well, not only the EU. And then there will more understanding and transparency and trust and technology transfer and mutual recognition will be occurred by natural. We can start from the pilot project with have some the common goal, especially if there are the brand and in the whole supply chain. So I see this opportunity, and at this time we have the IoT digital platform, so it will be eat both sides. That's what my view for the ASEAN and EU collaboration through Eurotech. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for your response to the question. So Lars, may I have your opinion on this related to the opportunities to collaborate between EU and ASEAN?
I think there's so much potential, not huge. I think there's enormous potential for collaboration between ASEAN and the EU on this. Textiles, as you know, is traded. None of it just happens in one region. A lot of it is produced in ASEAN, it's consumed in ASEAN, it's consumed in Europe, then the waste exported, so we affect each other all the time. I think there are collaboration at three levels. I think on the analytical level, this analytical work we've done, the analytical work done by researchers in ASEAN countries and organizations. I think we can collaborate much more to have a more joint pictures. I think on the policy side, definitely yes, because we have very ambitious EU policies, but we're also learning when we're putting them in place. And we need to learn from what happens where the production actually happens. And you have also policies in the ASEAN countries, perhaps not put together in one package, but maybe you want to do that. And then we can bring this together to the global level. And thirdly, I think there's a huge collaboration at the business level, of course, because all the experience in the ASEAN countries combined with that, with the European, in Eurotex and the different organizations. So to conclude, I think it's been a long time since I've seen an area for such huge potential collaboration. There's so much we can do together, and I think we will.
Thank you so much for pointing out the areas for possible collaboration amongst two regions. So moving to the next question on regional collaboration, as earlier Pak Basley and Dr. Lervin mentioned about the possibility or for a call for action or a collaboration amongst textile industry stakeholders in ASEAN. So Dr. Lervin, what do you see as opportunity for collaboration amongst textile industry stakeholders in ASEAN?
Well, coming from the research institution, university, and I also have a lot of interaction with the SMEs, and you highlighted a lot of great practices. I just thought we have a lot of know-how already. So many projects been done, a lot of know-how. Why don't we share? How do we share that? The mechanism of sharing to enable all the industry going green, right? So for example, coloring, right? Using, so one of the, you mentioned dry dye, right? They apparently, I have talked to one of the strategic advisors of the company recently. They are now developing a technology platform to open their technology, the supercritical CO2, for coloring without water and complete circular process. So if that is open, available to all, why don't we use it? And I also know that in Hong Kong Research Institute of Textile and Apparel, Hong Kong RITA, and I'm very close to them. I also connected them to SC Grant. So they develop, in partnership with H&M, develop a technology, hydrothermal technology to process recyclable textiles and in fact enhance the property of the polyester fiber. And they build a system, actually it's decentralized system. You can actually have it in your factory and process everything, or in a shopping mall, and on-site collection and processing, so to make recycle process feasible, so to save all your logistic issues and all these other challenges. So there are a lot of know-how, even from research institution level, SMEs, especially SMEs, a lot of know-how already in Thailand. I the more I see Thailand, with your presentation as well, I see also the last presentation from Indonesia. So a lot of already know-how. Why don't we just, let's do it? And now how to do it, so that how does the ASEAN Circular Economy Platform could play a role in facilitating that, manage the knowledge and dissemination of the knowledge, also the training of it, and support. A lot of SMEs, when they have to change the process, they may need to buy equipment. They need investment. Where did the investment come from? The financial support in transition to a more circular and green production. So all these can be done, but we need to build, again, multi-stakeholder action to provide infrastructure, provide expertise, funding, and of course, consumer, the mark. I like this the circular mark, right? So again, support the good guys and bring, promote leadership, and so consumers could support you, because the consumption drives production, right? So if consumer choice is to support the sustainable producers, then you really build the whole ecosystem of circularity. So I think we need to close that loop, the whole value chain, right? Close the whole value chain loop, so we could together work seamlessly.
Okay. Thank you, Professor. So same question to Mr. Basley. So as you mentioned earlier about a call for collaboration amongst educational institution, business players. So what do you see as opportunities for collaboration within the textile industry stakeholders, and how do you envision that collaboration you mentioned earlier, Sir Mr. Basley?
Thank you. I think the way I respond to the question is only one. I am challenging His Excellency Chirachai to go to the ASEAN Secretariat, and then you just mentioned that on behalf of the participants today, we are proposing to establish a hub, a sustainable textile and clothing hub for ASEAN, whether it's going to be headquarters in Bangkok or just using the ASEAN Secretariat here in Jakarta. And then once that's agreed and approved, you just invite Mr. Lars Mortensen to go to Jakarta to support us, at least our voice to be heard by Brussels. Thank you.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, sir. Such an ambitious proposal. So allow us to move to the next question relevant to the consumer and brand. So allow me to ask Mr. Tito, how can consumer and brands collaborate to further develop sustainable garment manufacturing practices?
So the process at the factory usually come from the brand itself. For instance, like I'm only doing mid-high brand. So we work very closely with the designers. So the designer of the brand, they would know what is the projection for the next season. And from there, we get the tech pack. And then from there, I would sort it out. Like, how can we make it even better than what they are proposing? For instance, from the textile or from the accessories, such as buttons. And once that is all done, then we'll kind of examine again, like, is the recycled buttons gonna be problem in the future or not, or is the color that we are proposing is gonna wash after 10 washes? Will the dye come off? And how is it during the production process? What kind of wastage we are working with? Because a lot of the production that I'm doing is a lot of matching from left to right, back and front. So the wastage has to be very minimal. And while they gave us a guidance of how much waste or how much consumption that should be done with, for instance, for a checkered shirt would be at about 2.2 meter per garment, but we are manufacturing from size S all the way to XXL. So we have to know how much is it that we can save per garment. If you're talking about a textile that is high-end at $8 a meter, every single centimeter makes a difference in the overall production process, because that is how a continuity will happen over and over again. Because it's not a one-time off thing that we can just propose, hey, use this fabric. No. The choices is not from the manufacturing side. The manufacturing is a supporting side. We are the backbone that makes things happen. For instance, like the packaging material. So when we ship overseas, we use vessels. So it has to withstand transportation for over a month before it gets into their warehouse. And during that transit, it goes through a lot of different temperature, a lot of different environment. But it has to get to that country in perfect shape on how when it left my factory's warehouse. So we have to test different packaging material. We cannot be perfect, like poly bag. We cannot use 100% recycled plastic. But we can be realistic and go 50%. Until we figure out a way to get poly bag to be 100%, we have to start somewhere. So we encourage the 50% recycled poly bag to be used, such as 100% recycled buttons, and also the type of thread we use. It comes down to that, because we are manufacturing with a CMT business. The trim makes a large difference in terms of even the cotton, the recycled cotton that is being used to pack the material. Those are the things that my factory is very proactive and proposing those changes and those steps to the designer and the brand itself, because I don't have control over what can be designed or should be designed, because they are the brand themselves. But I am very proactive in producing a high quality garment, and what happened after the wastage. That part is very important, because the ton of waste that we produced, even though it's really minimal, creates a huge environmental impact. And we want to stop that at the factory.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing with us the practice, current good practice of use in your factory. Okay, so one last question for all the speakers and participants as well. So as we heard this earlier about the new EU regulation that will have an implication on ASEAN exporter. So how can ASEAN countries or manufacturers adapt to or align with the EU strategy to remain competitive in the global fashion market?
Encourage my friend like from Thai Tapita, Kun Support or Kun Nutra or Kun Pap that to respond this question because of the real entrepreneur. Maybe start from Kun Support. Can you reflect that your answer? Because of he really experienced on exported product.
Before this question, I have to ask back to EU because I am one of the committee to negotiate this situation with Europe. So why I say that I have to ask back to EU first, because up to now, Europeans still don't have the exactly clear on the standard to us. So how we can adapt or negotiate. They say that they will only do it, but I don't think they're ready it now. And secondly, on this environmental problem, I always, for me, I have a two phase. On academic, I will say that I love environmental, but on commercial, we have to survive. So how can we stay together between the environmental and commercial? We have to find a way to survive together, which there are a lot of ways, but to talk about this, maybe it's take a whole day to talk. So maybe if interesting, maybe Janhoi can open the group discussion later, which I willing to talk about this from my real experience, because they have both on the one phase on academic side and another phase on commercial side. For I can raise some really easy example. When some company one day they talk in the speaker and say that, oh, I love environmental so badly, I will do this, I will do that. But at the purchasing, why care? As long as all the cost is paid by my customer, I not care. I can use the like a throwaway or anything. Even doesn't matter that environmental will be damaged, I not care. So this is a really happen in the world nowadays. So we have to see that which phase you're talking and but anyway I didn't say that this is a cruel life, but we have to find a way to stay together between the real life and environmental, otherwise all of us will die from the world, really.
Okay, I think that may I ask more question to the Kun Nutra because of she also can voice it. Okay, Kun Nutra, please. Okay, share your experience and real words again. Thank you.
Thank you for the audience. I would just say in complement to what Kun Supot says, we cannot rely on the government policies. This is also happens to many countries, not only Thailand. But I would like to bring up that there is actually the active green consumer in our world today. We have to bring up what they need, and we have to find this customer to be take part in our fashion industry, because the fashion going on, there must be not only on the basic items, not only on the eco and green items, but we actually have to apply our what should I say, our green product into fashions and into their lifestyles. So what I would like to do to enhance in this fashion industry is that I would like to find and try to accommodate the green consumer that are the real sector to our business.
Thank you. Sorry. The last one, I would like Kun Wat to share his experience because SC Grant had been mentioned by you. Okay, Kun Wat, please share your opinion.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just joining. Okay, I speak about SC Grant just 1 minute then. We act also as the recycle hub in Southeast Asia because I believe that Thailand has the strength that we, like in the center of Southeast Asia, we near Myanmar, Laos, and Cambodia, and there's a lot of garment factory around here that they have like cutting waste. So we act as the strategic partner and supply chain partner by taking those waste and then turn into new textile. And I believe that in Indonesia, you guys are doing quite well as well. If you're looking for a partner in Thailand, I'm happy to be one of your partner. And also, the last one is I hope that we can be part of solution for our shared future because it's only one world at the moment. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you so much for all the panelists, participants for sharing your valuable experience and insight. So we have reached the end of the session 1. So thank you so much. And next in the agenda is the coffee break. We will have a 30 minutes break before we continue with the next session. Thank you. So for online participants, please stay tuned because during the coffee break, we will do the live broadcast of the different sustainable fashion exhibitor in this event. So please stay tuned. Hello. บันทึกไว้หมดใช่ไหมครับเรคคอร์ดใช่ป่ะ
แล้วเซสชั่นเริ่มยังไง
เนี่ยจะเริ่มแล้วเนี่ย
วิดีโอผมเนาะแล้วก็ค่อยเข้า
ใช่แล้วเดี๋ยวพี่เช็คของเบอร์ 2ให้ว่าวิดีโอก่อนไหม
ครับว่าเขาจะ
โอเคจะเรียกเลยไหม
Okay, we'd like to start in 30 seconds. I would like to ask Kun Nantini Nathani, Kun Nathani, เชิญครับ The afternoon session, the deep afternoon session, please stay awake because this is the fun and games session. My name is Anthony. I'm the Deputy Director of the ASEAN Centre for Sustainable Development Studies and Dialogue. The first guy who opened, that's my boss sitting in front. Okay, I'm the deputy. I'd like to start this afternoon session. We have several speakers, so really I'd like to move a little bit so we won't get too tired. But I think this will be a very exciting, I think, session. Just to give you examples of good practices that are occurring within our region, and then perhaps together with the actual practitioners and the earlier session on the policy, we can take this information and move forward in a small or a large way, as was suggested by the last speaker in the afternoon session. I'd like to start now, I think, with Sustainable Garment Manufacturing Company, or Mr. Jun Mardin. Okay, just to briefly explain in a short presentation, and then I'd like to move on quickly after that with Mr. Poramed. Please.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak on today's topic on sustainability. So my name is Jun Mardian. I'm currently the Chief Branding and Marketing Officer at AEON Group in Tokyo. So I flew here about 2 nights before, and it's been 5 years since my last visit to Thailand. So everything has changed, but it's really wonderful. And in my role, I'm also involved in the SDG projects in AEON. So basically, I'm in charge of about 700 stores in all over Kanto Prefecture, which includes Tokyo, like everybody should know. And so basically, in this on this slide, I've summarized like the projects that I'm doing. So we actually developed this brand called Green Growers. I know this has got nothing to do with fashion, but I think because it has got some topic on sustainability that I want to share about it as well. So we actually invested a lot of money on our vertical farming, and we produce as well, because there's a food security problem in Japan. Like we might not have enough food to supply for our people, and as Japanese yen keeps on going weaker, our purchasing power has actually weakened a lot in the past few years. So we are losing out to a lot of like other countries competing for meat and vegetables and also fruits and produces. So we have already we actually produce we try to produce our own vegetables. Currently, we can only produce lettuce, but this lettuce is produced in a vertical farming closed loop system, and we can produce about 5,000 lettuces a day that we send every day to all our 700 stores. So this is very exciting, and we are trying to keep on getting expansion in this particular field. And the next one is that Beyond Meat. We are the exclusive distributor in Japan for Beyond Meat, and of course, as you know, it is a plant-based meat alternative protein, and it's very new in Japan, and we are trying to educate the consumers that, hey, even though it is as expensive as your Wagyu beef and Kobe beef, it is saving the earth. We are not trying to make everyone to go vegan, but we are trying to convey the message that this is a good thing for you. It's low cholesterol, and you can be healthy as well eating this. We're not trying to make you to stop eating meat, but just try to eat lesser meat, maybe go meatless once a week. So that's our commitment to Japan's sustainability. And as you know, Japan has a very good mindset in the way that they don't waste a lot. So basically, it is a very sustainable society in the whole. Like we have this chicken farm in our supermarket, and we try to produce a lot of like chickens, and no, so not chickens, like the eggs, and we use the eggshells and we reproduce it to become food packaging, and we also use our eggshells to produce chicken feed. So it's a circular economy in a way for our food system. So it's really good, and we also put a lot of like recycling spots in front of all our 700 stores. So it's really amazing, but it's just that the cost. We have got to put a lot of security cameras in our recycling system because people keep on like disposing their sofa and their refrigerator there. And you know that the cost of throwing a sofa is actually more expensive than getting a sofa in Japan. So people keep on like bringing a lot of trucks to come and just dump all their sofas. So we have got to close everything up. And the last thing is that I'm also involved in the design of our supermarket, and we try to, and as you know that electricity is going up, resources is very hard to get in Japan. So we try to make, I'm trying to make my design as energy efficient as much as possible by incorporating a lot of like sunlight, natural light, so that we will use less of electricity. And also for our refrigerations, we try to use highly efficient fridge as well. And of course, the most important is the blinds. We try to make it as smart as possible by we trying to control the light coming in. And when you know that it's sunlight and it's bright, the light will just like go up and all the lights will be automatically reduced. So these are the things that I'm trying to do, and it's very fortunate for me to be able to be involved in food and fashion, like clothing, like two of the most primary needs of human being that in our livelihood. And also the shelter, we are mainly brick and mortar shops. Even though we have online presence, our 80% of our sales is still derived from our offline shops. So basically to make sure that our offline shops, all our grocery stores are energy efficiency and energy efficient and as sustainable as possible, we are still collaborating with a lot of like research institutions and also overseas countries to make sure that we can get better system in place. So going back to fashion, I mean, like we have lots of, as you know that I am fortunate enough to be a part of ACSML. ACSML is a pioneer in fashion in Indonesia. We are the first local brand in Indonesia actually. So I used to have my own factory and we produce everything for ACSML, and now I'm also collaborating with Mr. Titonius Carto in the manufacturing, so I know where my fabrics is coming from and that everything is like I can trace it back and make sure that it is sustainable. I was not very so basically last time before Zara came to Indonesia, our ACSML is dubbed as the next Zara, but I think recent years we have got lots of focus on sustainability, and also we have to be the leader in because since that we are the first national brand, we have got to show example, and we try to change our concept to become to using more sustainable materials, which is very difficult to get in Indonesia because of a lot of like red checks from the system, but it's something that we are trying to overcome right now. And of course, one of the things that we are trying to do is to make sure that like our designs are more classics. The more that it can be kept in your wardrobe, of course, it can minimize the carbon footprint in the system. So there's something that we are doing, like getting a bit more. I only have 1 minute and 30 seconds left, so I will make it very fast. And also we try to keep on more natural fiber, natural fabric, organic yarns and everything. But one of the things that I really like about being in Japan, I think one of the solutions, I mean like there are many solutions available in the world, but of course you have to be commercial and everything else, and the cost of natural fiber fabric in Indonesia is very expensive. And but we still have to sell. We have to be commercial enough to be able to sell, and we have got to tell our stories to the people. And I think the stories about sustainability is a great one. And one thing that I'm trying, like I think one of the solutions is always about upcycling. You always have to upcycle, rewear, recycle. That's like the only viable solutions, I believe. And one of the things that I like about being in Japan, I mean like there's kimono. So kimono, I'm trying to do a lot of like collections based on kimono, because I believe that kimono is a zero waste, very efficient fabric in the fact that it is created by 8 barrels of, it's created by 8 stripes, 8 layers of like rectangular stripes, and there's no if you want to create a curved shape, you can just like fold it like origami, so there's no cutting and there's no nothing, and of course it's 0% waste. If let's say it's a bit too long, you just like need to hem it up. So there's a concept that I really like, and if you like if you tear it apart, it will go back to its original form like a fabric that I can use. So now I'm trying to get as much kimono as possible from everybody. Of course it's being passed from generations to generations, but the best thing about Japan is that it is the only only market that the second-hand market is actually doing very, very well. People don't mind to buy second-hand or third-hand or fourth-hand industry. That's why application like Merikari and all the second-hand shops in Harajuku is like doing so well. So I'm trying to collect all this kimono and turn that into fabric and try to do an upcycling show for my next fashion show for the fall and winter collections. And I'm trying to combine it with something that's a bit more Indonesia, like batik, for example, like combining the soft silk with the hard batik. It would be so wonderful. Maybe I can call it like bamono, like batik kimono. This is not copyrighted yet, but yes, there's the idea right now. I am finished.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, because you finished on time. I would like to give you a bonus minute. The first question is USM.
USMH.
The supermarket, the True Value. But why are you then embarking on the XSML in that's the first question, okay? Second question is, I understand when in your description you do a lot of design. Yep. Would you be willing to, because they're different markets, the gentleman sitting next to you, he also develops bags and handbags and jackets and things like that. He would really like your design team.
Oh.
You know, I mean, you're different markets. You're not competitor. He's very small and you're very large. You know,
very small too.
And you will understand when he describes about his work. You know, so I was just thinking, you know, a design team, a Japanese design. Wow, you know, it's so high end. So what other possibilities of, you know, just providing advice and things like that. So 2 questions.
Okay. I will explain the first question. I will answer the first question first. So I'm actually part of the AEON Group. And United Supermarket Holdings is a subsidiary of AEON Group. We own the 800 stores in just the Kanto area, and being the they know that I'm actually the ACSDSD brand. I have been having this brand for the longest time already, and I joined AEON Group 5 years ago. So and because they bought one of my other companies that I'm doing in Indonesia, and so that's why I moved to Japan about 5 years ago. And COVID happened, so I cannot leave the country, and so now I'm back to traveling back and forth, and so that and in my contract I can do both work, totally fine, no problem at all. Yep, that's the first question.
Yes, second question.
The second questions, I have 2 designers based in Japan. They are very famous. And of course, what we want to do, because they know, like one thing about Japan that is really good is that it knows about draping really well. And I can have access to amazing set of like fabrics, and also the finishing there is like amazing. And Japan yen being so low right now, it gives me a lot of like value, because made in Japan and combined with made in Indonesia, it can give a lot of like good stories. And I'm Indonesian based in Japan, and I want to use as much leverage as possible on this one. And we can definitely design for you. Yes. We can design, yes. And Japanese is good in the way how to make simple works, but it's still amazing. It can last a long time because of the way they do things. And I'm also talking about Indonesia because I have got 2 sets of designers as well in Indonesia, and we have lots of like collaboration with Indonesian design and Japan design. And our manufacturing is done in great scale, like Petit Surya Mandiri, and we have our small atelier in Japan that can create like for something that is a bit more intricate, like gowns and everything. So whatever you need, we can provide. Call me.
So on that note, would I like to ask Kun Paramed to provide some information about what you are doing? Thank you. Okay. Thanks for joining us to heal the world and change the world. Our products are made from fallen leaf, made from real leaf, and with cultural wisdom, because in north of Thailand use thick wood leaf for food packing and roof. And with innovation, we make the our material, because the highlight of our product is material. Is we call it leaf leather. It's alternative leather, durable, and water resistant. Okay, with our innovation, and also we got the awards like eco design innovation Prime Minister Export Award. And also we got just for last year, we got Best of the Best Prime Minister Export Award, 30 years anniversary. And do you have a do you have PowerPoint? Yep. Did we prepare PowerPoint? Yep. Okay. Okay. And okay, in north of Thailand are used for roof, and we like innovation become our products. Apart from teak wood leaf, we also do garlic peel, coffee silver skin, and tamarind peel, because Thailand is the land of agriculture. Because we would like to be the leader of the fiber, and this is the four of core of our business: design, culture, new value, and charm. Okay, most customer pain point and solution. Most customer is the vegans and vegetarians market, because that later products cost the animal killing, animal cruelty. Then we do for eco-friendly products for sustainability. And some years in northern of Thailand, there are the fire in the forest. So we correct the fallen leaf. That the one of the cause of the fire. So we also like, and one of our pride customer is so proud, because they are the one who be the path to heal the world, to save the world. Okay, Mr. Leaf is a Thai band with innovation and motivation to change the world. It's like alternative leather that made from leaf, and with the innovation of nano rubber, then we call alternative leather. Yep, eco-friendly and sustainability. And we also is the partner of the leather company or leather sellers, because they sell the leather, and we are the one that the choice of them for leaf leather. Okay, sorry. Okay, we do marketing for domestic and global. Many countries, more than 13 countries around the world, and not only the bag of fashion. We also do for house use, like a certain, like a stationery. Is there a secret ingredient to make your product? Can you tell us? Nano rubber. Nano rubber. Nano rubber. And we based on cultural wisdom, we take the leaf and we use like a piece of vegetable to make the leaf flexible. Then make it dry and reinforcement, like a coating with nano rubber. Then the product is water resistant and strong. Also for the curtain, for the lantern, for the cupboard. It could even be partitions, like, yep. in Japanese partitions. No? Yep. We also have the shop in Japan. Use our products, decorate their shop. And also for the camera digital. This Sochi, Japanese. Because our products, our material, the highlight of our business is our material can expand in many industry. Also umbrella. So these products are already on sale? On sale, but normally made to order. What is the amount, approximate order size number?
Depend.
So I can order 10 or 1,000?
Can because firstly, customer asks for a small amount, and then step up, and we welcome for small order. Okay, and eco pan pot.
And this is made of?
Made of like a waste of agriculture. It's from coffee. Okay, and one of business success. We have shop. We have like decoration. And we have Mr. Leaf family, because we export more than 13 countries. It's Mr. Leaf in China, Mr. Leaf in Germany, Mr. Leaf in Austria. Okay, and Mr. Leaf Japan, Mr. Leaf Korea. In terms of marketing, we call our products leafletter.
Leafletter.
Yep. Okay, one of our proud is the Prime Minister Export Award, and 30 anniversary we got the best of the best Prime Minister Export Award last year. Yes. You can visit our shop and our showroom in Chiang Mai. We call like innovative land. This innovative land. Because it can be many things apart from bag or fashion. Okay, that's all.
A coffee shop too, right?
Yep, also coffee shop.
Okay, ขอบคุณมากครับ Thank you.
Thank
you. Give a round of applause to. From leaf creation to something almost very similar, agricultural waste to textile. Could I ask Mr. Kamin to say a few words? Thank you.
Swadee krab. Okay. First of all, thank you for inviting me here. It's an honor to be here. And today I'd like to share about what we're doing in Thai Nam Chok Textile. So we're a spinning and weaving company. So what we're doing is we're turning agricultural waste into textile fiber and also yarn and fabric. So right now we're mainly focusing on pineapple. We're mainly focusing on upcycling pineapple leaf. And so this is the statistics in Thailand. So we have around 48,000 households growing pineapple farm in Thailand, which is about nearly 500,000 rai. And this amount of plantation generates around 2.8 million tons of pineapple leaf waste. So normally these leaves are, after harvesting the fruit, these leaves are just left to rot in the field, or sometimes the farmers burn them in order to regrow the next crop. So we're buying these leaves from the farmers and making them into fiber. So this is our production. So it starts from the leaves, then we dry it, we make it into the fiber and dry it, and then it goes into the spinning factory in order to make this nice fiber and then into yarns. So pineapple fiber actually have a lot of special properties that are comparable to linen and hemp. So first is the eco-friendly aspect. So we're upcycling the waste into valuable textile fiber. And then we are also, since Thailand does not grow any cotton, we import 99% of our cotton. So we're reducing reliance on cotton and also on
oil-based product like polyester. And it's also a very strong fiber, and one of the very special property is antibacterial. Naturally, we do not need to add any chemicals into the fiber or fabric to make it antibacterial. It also has very good moisture management. And another thing is we buy the leaf which the farmers throw away, so it's an additional income for the pineapple farmers. And most of our fabrics are mostly used in home textile and apparels. So these are some pictures of the yarns made from pineapple fiber. So from the fiber to the yarn and then into the fabric. And we actually make it until fabric, then our customers buy our fabric and make into other stuff like fashion clothing and also home textile, you know, the decorative stuff they use in hotels. Yeah, and these are some of the other natural fibers where we have worked on, but now we're mainly focusing on pineapple, hemp, and kapok. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. You have 5 minutes left. Congratulations. Now, I was writing this down: pineapple, hemp, and kapok, yes, because they are more resilient. We look at a lot of aspects into which one we want to market and promote. For pineapple fiber, it's because the fiber is very special, have a lot of special characteristics, and also the supply, on the supply side, we have a lot of pineapple farm in Thailand, so we focus on the pineapple. And kapok also, the supply is not so hard, and also very special characteristic, like it's real organic. So for cotton, you need to regrow every year, right? But for kapok, it's a tree that produces the fiber every year, so you do not need to regrow the tree. And also hemp is a very strong and good fiber, very eco-friendly. It uses very less water to grow and grows very fast. What role do you think consumers can play in driving this demand for your products that are agricultural waste? And how do you think you can create more awareness raising, so that people can appreciate, the quality and the durability of your products? Do you see any challenges, and how do you think we can all help out or provide communication strategies? I think every year, as everyone in this room probably knows, there's the haze, or the, what do you call it, the dust in the air, the PM 2.5. So I think that kind of promotes already the pineapple, because if you're using more of the agricultural waste, then there's no need to burn it. Yeah, like the leaves also. So I think that problem also raises awareness on how we should use the waste in these region. Do you think there are, from your people that buy or consume your products, do you think there is a growing awareness, growing appreciation, and what more do you think could be done? Yeah, I certainly see an increase in demand from my customers regarding natural fibers, and I think it's gonna take some more time for it to become, mainstream or widely available. For example, the recycled polyester fiber has been developed for, I don't know, more than 10 years, but we haven't seen it that much until the past 5 years, where the big brands have come in and committed to using recycled polyester, like Adidas, Nike. So I think the major factor in contributing to the usage of these fibers are the big players in the industry. I think they can help a lot in
in increasing the usage of these fibers.
Thank you. I think that's clear to me that big players, even just promoting something or not necessarily buying something, can actually increase the, the mid-size or the smaller players. And I think that's a key question. That's a key question for our next speaker, because that is basically her key question: is how can the big players, short of a government regulation or policy that says all companies must reduce their waste, and the extra waste that they have must be given to other producers, smaller producers, for more circularity. So that's another key issue for smaller companies. And with that in mind, I'd like to turn to Kun Natini to explain what she is doing, but then what she hopes for in the future, that larger factories, companies, brands that have excess material, how can smaller companies have access to those excess materials? So Kun Natini, if you can say a few words. So, hi. Good evening, everyone. I'm Natini, a zero waste living advocate, designer, minimalist liver, nature lover from Chai Finds Freedom. Initiative concerning sustainable kids apparel is all started with I was the project consultant for playground and cafe management. The concept of this project is the fantastical vision of the fable that came to life in the realm of reality, with the design and construction taking place alongside the story of the book. Then I started the surrounding information related to children and found interesting issue about children and nature deficit disorder. Therefore, allowing nature to go alongside children is interesting. And kids' apparel is something that children can go and learn at the same time. So what is Chai Finds Freedom? An online sustainable lifestyle store, a culture of sustainable thinking and sympathy, coupled with our passion for developing sustainable kids, adult, apparel, and lifestyle product in Thailand. In the picture of Chow, C stands for waste from clothes, H stands for waste from plastic, I stand for yarn, L stand for fabrics, D stand for garment. All of this stand for fashion industry. Let's advocate eco-friendly alternative. The picture of this family represents our brand image. Stay stylish by sustainable. We use materials from the industry that are certified and trusted by bringing many types of waste and recycled and used to maximum benefit. So this is our product, and this is our siblings. All the products are chosen from the limitation of available fabric retailing. The concept of the product provides basic knowledge to children and parents. Inculcated children grow up by appreciating the value of nature and apparel, such as colors, texture, dots, and line, like in the product, and you say you can see in the fabric, you can see the line, the dot, the color, everything is combined in the fabric that they can use every day. So this is a dress. It's made from recycled cotton and organic cotton with the eco print technique from the fresh leaf. It's kind of like natural dye. Our vision is to always consider the world around us and strive to create an atmosphere that focuses on our environment, humankind, and sell at reasonable prices. Consciously, mastering comfort and style with sustainable material is our purpose. Chai finds freedom, stand behind the community, and is committed to use sustainable materials, organics, design, and handmade. For our brand, we think eco-conscious fashion isn't just hair-turning, it's life-changing too. So is how to contact our brand. And thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. And take the first step with our brand. Thank you. Thank you. When were you established, and how many people are now working, and do you also work with the community? Yeah. Same like actually I like to learn about the material or the fabric by myself. So maybe last month, I went to Chiang Rai to stay at the weaving village, and they taught me how to dye in natural dye and how to weaving, something like that. And about eco print, it's like we have to learn how to choose the leaf that can make the different color, something like that. Right? Why are you doing this? Why? Yes. It's only my passion. I just want to know it, actually. Same like I told before, I start from a project consultant for a playground, and then I choose to learn more about our children, but actually it's so far from me. And when I like to deep down in it, I just want to know more, and I think I be a designer, but it's not like I not feel like want to buy it by another band much, but I just want to try it by myself. I'm interested in this sustainable fabric or industry because it's quite new, but it's maybe because it's like I like to go by the nature, so I just want to learn and know how to combine it with my lifestyle. Thank you. I'm asking because I don't have any natural talents of creativity or design, so I was really curious about that, and following from one of our guests earlier, I don't have any design style, so I just I get away with getting secondhand clothes by asking my relatives, secondhand. This is all secondhand, and this is secondhand. Only my shoes are not secondhand. But that's another way too, And if you have, you can get good clothes. Staying on this theme, I'd like to introduce Sarah here and to talk about cloth, catalyzing circularity for textiles and clothings in Malaysia, and they have collection bins. I understand. I don't know, 1,000 or 10,000, or in Malaysia and Singapore, and these collection bins, have gathered. A mountain of material that they can recycle. So please, Sarah. Hello, good afternoon. First of all, thank you, Mr. Churachai and ASEAN CSDSD for inviting Cloth today. It's totally out of the topic that we have discussed so far this afternoon, simply because that we are the social enterprise, and what we are looking at catalyzing circularity for textile and clothing in a space of repurposing and also recycling. So before I elaborate further about cloth, so let's just digest, some of the numbers have been presented earlier, but why we are doing this, right? See, more than 100 billion pieces of garment produced annually, of which 60% of our clothing production made from synthetic fiber. And what does that mean? The same polymer to make your drinking water bottles is the same as your synthetic yarn and fibers, right? Textile. So it takes between 20 to 200 years to decompose in the landfill. So in Malaysia, we have a lot of landfills. We don't have incinerators yet. So we are relying on these landfills, and we have 150 landfills that have been closed, right? And why, why you should care too? If you look into the global consumption, it's expected to rise by 63% by 2030. That is from 62 metric ton in 2017 to 102 metric ton by 2030. And do you know that it's equivalent to more than 500 million pieces of new t-shirts being produced annually? So it's scary, right? So you're talking about once you go to the landfills, methane gases released during decompositioning, the dyes and chemicals, it will, dilute and it cause leachate in the wastewater, right? So here we are, Cloth Malaysia. We started in Malaysia, so we expanded in Singapore and Australia. I'll tell you more a bit. So we started on the 11th of December 2013. All women-led organization, there's 9 of us. And we are mission catalyzing circularity because in the space of textile, clothing, and plastic. And our first philosophy will follow rethink, reduce, reuse, repurpose, and recycle. So even though in our world we talk about recycling, it has to start with reuse first, reuse and repair, repurpose and upcycling. Then only you talk about recycling, right? So how do we approach? So this is our main key strategies that we work with partners. Circular economy, you have to work with various parties, not just looking at working alone. It's not going to happen, right? So what is the impact that we're trying to create to the planet and our people? Would be these waste that we recycle will be reused, and it will impact other lives. And also, we hope that one day, from this waste material, it can create into new material, right? So in 2018, we create this movement called Cloth as Fabric Recycling Movement with the tagline "Keeping Fabric Out of Landfills," and we create the hashtag Join the Movement, right? So at that time, we aim to collect 188 tons of unwanted fabric away from the landfills within 18 months, because we want to see like in Malaysia, everyone is doing everything on their own. So we want to see how impactful this can be to the nation, right? So on the 18/8/2018, we pledged that we want to collect 188 tons of unwanted fabrics within 18 months, and we managed to collect within 11 months. So there's 2 key takeaways here. So one would be there's a lot of garments, there's a lot of unwanted clothing that people want to recycle. And number 2 means that Malaysians, they love recycling. So how do we work, right? So we work with partner who, does the back end. So we will go out as an advocacy, social enterprise, doing education awareness, because that's the most critical item. First is education and awareness, right? And the second one would be providing access to recycling, meaning to say that just education and awareness, and the people doesn't know where to dispose their unwanted fabrics, no point, right? And so we go to partners, right? We tackle corporate partners, our public listed companies, they are required to do sustainability reporting. So we started with companies who registered under Blue Star Malaysia. and they will cascade down, before we go to the community, because like from the corporates, it will go down to the community, to their families. And so certain partners, they wouldn't have space to adopt a fabric bin, so they can sponsor, or they can do a like one-off collection. So we do take fabric rolls or bulk garments that people doesn't want, and we will bring to the factory. And we also conduct a lot of knowledge sharing session, fabric recycling, upcycling workshop with our team. So this under our 5R philosophy, under the retain, reduce, reuse, repurpose, recycle. So we hope that it will it will change mindset. It will, people now, like previously people thought that, hey, I just passed down to whoever one, but like probably like just like, oh, someone had, a flood in the area, they just dump everything there. So it's not good. Do we want people to say like, oh, those are no longer good condition fabrics, they can divert somewhere else, meaning to say recycle with us. So this is basically our impact report. So we have collected more than 6 million kilograms since 2018. So we are 3 nations. We are in Malaysia, basically from the Klang Valley towards Johor. Singapore is because that we realized that it's just across the bridge. And we can support the collection system over there. So we have more than 600 recycling, fabric recycling sustainable network partners, more than 400 bins, a lot of various community-driven students, universities who come, fashion design students who come to our factory to get our garments and all that. So, some people like couldn't imagine like how much is 6 million, right? So we put into visualization. So 1 kilogram of clothing is equivalent to 6 pieces of t-shirts. So 6 times 6 is more than 36 million pieces of t-shirts have been diverted, which is very small, right? So even though that you look at 6 million is a big figure, it's only like 1%. It's represented only 1% of our fabric waste generated in Malaysia. So we have a lot of work to do. So this is basically our network partners and supporters. AEON is part of our recycling partners as well. So, I mean, we have 38 outlets around Klang Valley towards Johor, right? So they have fabric bins, and what we do, like I said, we start with the corporate citizen, and then we move to the high traffic sites, like shopping malls, pump stations, then the academic institutions, schools, and whatever not, right? So this is zero waste to the landfill. Everything is nothing like textile to textile yet. Of course, like I think the least that you can see is mechanical recycling. Fabrics are shredded into rugs and carpets, but in the future, there will be more technologies coming in, especially textile to textile, simply because we have a lot of clothing in this world, right? Do you ever sell secondhand clothes? You sell secondhand clothes? We don't do, so that is other party will do it. Yeah. So these are the things that we also do, like we do upcycling of products. We engage with the corporate partners, and they do like unwanted uniform. They make it into merchandise, and they give back to the staff as part of education and awareness. So cloth textile and cloth wear is basically promoting sustainable materials. So of course, like today, I learned a lot. So not just focusing on recycled plastic bottle, but looking at, natural sources, like very good, like, from pineapple, like organic cotton and all that, something that we want to explore in the future. So I think I end the speech with let's rethink fabric waste together. There's no planet B. Thank you. Thank you. Could I ask you if you look at the map, you have a lot. I'm not sure you showed it there, but you have a lot of collection bins. I call them. Is that right? Yeah, the right word? What was the success of that? How did you get so many collection bins? And the collection bins are also related to these sponsors? Yeah. So how we do it is actually we go down to the corporate citizens and all that, right? Because it's part of what they have to do, sustainability reporting, right? But the actual effect of highly effective collection comes from the shopping malls and the pump stations, where the high traffic, easily accessible, people wants to grab food and then they just, dump it, drop it at our fabric box, and they can go shopping, whatever not. So like if you see like even in the percentages, you will see more on the shopping malls, petrol stations, and also even like we have more brands coming with us, like take back programs. So we handle their take back programs. So we will bring and we provide reporting to them as well, as part of our agreement.
And in Australia, why did you go all the way?
Right. So Singapore and Australia, if you see that we have partners, MNCs and global brands, right, and they have brand presence in that country, so we are opening up their platforms so that they can recover their materials from there as well. So we are, we are going to UAE as well, because like you have brand presence and we have a recycling partner over there who can support in terms of the collection, giving a data, like in terms of traceability, we'll be able to tell, provide the information. So I think one of the key takeaway here is working with the right partner, right? And also traceability.
Traceability?
Yeah, traceability, because people want to know what happens when you collect our fabric. What percentage that you can actually go for reuse, repurpose, and recycle and things like that. So in our world right now, of course, you will see more on the reuse. So even like you're talking about recycling, mechanical and chemical recycling, right? The industries have to agree that you have to go on the tier reuse, repurpose, and recycle. Like even like if you look in the EU, like they were promoting reuse and repair. Why? Because you want to make the fabric longer. It doesn't, you don't have to produce in order for someone to wear, right? So someone can reuse it. And because of the fast fashion, people are wearing it less than 10 times and buying a new one. And there's a lot of new clothing. Like even like if you go in, if you want to come and visit us in Malaysia, a lot of clothing that is still with the price tag. It's a lot. Yeah, so I think that's most important in terms of traceability. Providing data is very important as well. And also later on, what we're trying to achieve is the right mechanical and chemical recycling that we can convert and put back into the value chain for new materials and products.
Human resources staff, you're expanding to Australia. Is that a strain on your organization? And you want to expand to other countries, for example, Thailand?
We are looking for partners. In terms of operating, we are more relying on working with the back-end partners. In terms of the presence, like MNCs and all that, even like in Malaysia, they are not based in Malaysia. They are in Spain, or they are in Singapore, right? So we can work anywhere in the world, providing that we have a reliable partner who can do collection and traceability of where the clothing flows into.
Any questions from the panel? I see some people are thinking.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I am thinking too, because I know of several companies that open shops here in Bangkok. There are 30 shops that are opened by large corporations that sell kind of like Oxfam. And if you allow me, I'd like to contact them with their business development and corporate affairs manager, my daughter.
Right. We advocate or we encourage, like especially like even for, what going to happen in future, because for the used textile industry, whenever like you cannot collect from the bundle shops or the thrift shops, because basically what you've given to the recycler is discarded or unwearable items, right? But what it will help later on, because of the existence of the mechanical and chemical recycling, it can happen. You can recover from this. We spoke to one of a group of garment manufacturers in Malaysia, because they are trying to solve what's going to happen to their fabric waste, scraps, because like from their industry, probably 15 to 20% from whatever fabric rolls that they have bought. So there are 20% scrap. So what's going to happen to that? And this is why you will need to put back into the value chain, and it can become new material. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Any questions before we close and ask
my boss to say a few words. ขอบคุณมากครับ Thank you. Terima kasih. Thank you for the remaining guests. You are so resilient.
Okay. As we draw towards the end of this session, I just want to express my appreciation to everyone for your active participations and insightful contributions. I think we had a very good discussion today, delving into a lot of critical topics, exploring challenges and opportunities facing the fashion industry, and discussing how consumers, brands, governments, and innovators can come together to pave the way for a more sustainable and circular future. As we conclude, I would like to encourage all of you to take inspiration and knowledge from this today's session and apply it to your ongoing endeavors and activities. Whether you're a consumer making conscious choices, a business leader exploring sustainable practices, or a policymaker shaping the industry's future, your contributions are essential to driving positive change. On behalf to our panelists and everyone involved, I sincerely thank you for participating and encouraging and engaging in this critical conversation. I think our discussions today have shown that there are ample opportunities for us to collaborate. So let's continue to work together to create a fashion industry that looks good and does good for people and the planet. So thank you once again for your participation today. Thank you very much.